Welcome back to this Real America's Voice news break. I'm Terence Bates. A busy week is getting underway on Capitol Hill now that the government shutdown is over. While January 30th is circled on lawmakers' calendars as a drop-dead date to pass appropriations bills, there's also a lot on tap this week before Congress leaves Washington for Thanksgiving. RAV congressional correspondent Benny Ray Harmony joins me live now from the Rotunda in the Capitol with the very latest. Good afternoon.
Hi, Terrence. Yeah, this is a big week. This is Congress's first week back in session after the longest government shutdown that we have ever seen of 42 days. Now, some of the things on the agenda this week are really going to be kicking off tomorrow on Tuesday. We will see the vote for the Epstein files take place, as well as some other hearings. Actually, one that I thought was very interesting is a Syria assessment threat to see if Syria is a threat to the United States. And another thing we're going to see is a lot of bills that have been pushed back because of the government shutdown are going to be brought to the floor. And then one more that is very important is Speaker Mike Johnson. He fast-tracked a bill that has to do with the senators, the GOP senators who are allowed to sue for up to $500,000. And the senators snuck this into the bill last minute, and Speaker Johnson plans to introduce that on the House floor tomorrow.
Right. And the senator, it's my understanding that Speaker Johnson wants to do away with that provision, correct? It's something that obviously was added to the appropriations bill to reopen the government, but it's something that many Congress members in the House feel like was snuck in last minute, and the Speaker would like to do away with that. Is that correct?
Yeah, it is. And so Speaker Johnson, many people might be wondering, well, shouldn't Speaker Johnson want this in the bill? And the issue is it raises serious concern for, the foundational laws of the United States. And it could also look like to many Americans that because of the position of these senators, they are getting privileges that others aren't. And so Mike Johnson, he said he was taken aback and very surprised when he saw this in the bill.
Absolutely. Benny Ray Harmony reporting for us, our RAV congressional correspondent there on Capitol Hill this morning. We appreciate you being here with us.
It's time for a whole new generation to wise up and rise up. The Charlie Kirk Show.
All right, welcome back to the Charlie Kirk Show. In just a moment, we are going to have Scott Turner, who is the Secretary of the Housing and Urban Development. Great man. I'm excited to talk to him about housing affordability, which is one of the top topics in the country right now. But first, I want to tell you about My Patriot Supply. Many of us are hopeful about the direction the country is headed. But after years of abuse and mismanagement, just think about the 4 years of Joe Biden, things could fall apart at any moment. That's why I and many Americans from all walks of life have taken action to prepare for whatever is coming next. And that starts with having an emergency food supply in your home, ideally. Storing food in your home is the right thing to do because we're living in crazy, unpredictable times, which explains why so many people are preparing. Right now, you can get ready, too, with a 3-month emergency food kit from My Patriot Supply. It comes with delicious foods like creamy stroganoff, honey wheat bread, and mushroom rice pilaf. The entire kit offers over 2,000 calories a day, so you're going to be well-fed if emergency strikes. And guess what? The kits last up to 25 years. These things get flooded. Like, they're sealed, they're mold-proof, flood-proof, all these things. I don't think they're fireproof. That's the one thing. That would be asking a lot. Who knows what the country is going to look like in 25 years? So get prepared. Go to mypatriotsupply.com/Kirk to order a 3-month emergency food kit from My Patriot Supply. Go to mypatriotsupply.com/Kirk. Without further ado, I'm excited to welcome Scott Turner. He's our HUD Secretary. Welcome to the show, Secretary Turner. There you are.
Thank you, Andrew. Great to be with you guys. Thank you, Blake.
Yeah, it's an honor to have you. You've been, you've been doing a tremendous job, but on top of that, you've always been so encouraging, a huge supporter of Charlie's, of Turning Point, and we salute you for that, sir. So thank you just for being a great friend along the way as everything we've been through in the last couple months has transpired.
Well, absolutely. You know how much I love and respect Charlie and the entire Turning Point team and you gentlemen and Eric and everything that you're doing to continue the mission I'm here, to support you and pray for you and love on you guys. So thank you so much for this brief moment we can be together.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for making the
Yeah.
time, Mr. Secretary. And you have come out guns ablazing with this affordability crisis. And this is something Charlie talked about a lot, especially in the final weeks and months of his life, and wanting to make sure that Gen Z has a stake in the American dream, has an opportunity to get on the rung of financial success, that first rung in the ladder. And so you came out, I saw the clip, I instantly reached out to your team, and I loved that you were talking about it. Tell us about your plans to address the housing and affordability crisis, especially for young Americans.
Well, absolutely. Well, let's go to the root of it. During the Biden administration, the policies as it pertains to housing, the economy, and in particular, the immigration policies of the Biden administration were crippling to our country and housing affordability. In particular, you talk about over 12 million illegal aliens coming across our border. And because of this, Andrew, it literally stifled and weakened our housing supply and stifled housing affordability because illegal aliens were taking up homes that American people should have been taken up. And so because of that, you see the affordability crisis, you see the issues that we're having. And one stat that I wanted to bring forth is about 59% of illegal alien families, 59%, they utilize one or more of the welfare programs in our country to the tune of about $42 billion. And so if you think about over half of the illegal alien families use one or more welfare programs, costing the American people over $40 billion. And that's a problem. It's not sustainable in our country, in particular when it comes to housing affordability. And so for millennials and really for every American citizen, what we're doing at HUD is one, being very focused on tearing down burdensome regulations we can talk about as the show goes on, but taking down these regulations both from a federal standpoint and then encouraging the localities, mayors, economic development, states and cities to take inventory of their regulatory environment, because that has really what has crippled development and building in our country. And so regulations, for instance, in a multifamily housing project, 40% of regulations are the cost when you build a multifamily housing project. In a single family housing development, 20 to 25% of the cost is in regulations. Well, Andrew and Blake, this is unsustainable. And so we have to tear down the regulatory environment in order to unleash the development and building creativity and innovativeness in our country as it pertains to our housing supply.
Yeah, go ahead. Blake, chime in.
Another stat I saw recently that really drove this home is put up 132. And this chart is the number of newly built homes per capita in the U.S. by year. And you can see different points in time, but the trend is clearly downwards. You can see different housing busts. You can see the Great Recession. It really tanks new construction, but the trend is so consistently down. Sure, some of that is we're probably a little better at building houses that can last a little longer, and so you don't need as much turnover. But at the same time, it's the number of new houses getting built is just steadily going downwards, and that might not even be an accurate per capita thing, because we might not have an accurate number of how many people are illegally entering the country.
Could be lower than that.
And so it's just there's a steady downward trend in how many houses are being built. Shocker, the price of houses is going up.
Yeah, and that's while we've had massive population increases, right? I mean, this is approximate numbers, but it was, let's say, 225 million people in this country in 1980. Maybe it was like 1985 by that we got to that point. And now we're at 330, 340. We really don't know how many people are in the country because we don't know how many illegal aliens are in the country. I am a big proponent, Mr. Secretary, of single-family homes. And I know that you kind of work on both the single-family homes, multi, especially in the urban core, these multifamily units. I believe that it's the best way that a young family gets a start. The kids need a yard. I mean, it gives a better sense of ownership, of independence, of, I think, a stake in the community. I really like single-family homes. What do you see as the solution for expanding single-family homes? We're in Phoenix. It's like the capital of single-family homes. Just like it's like gives you a lot of urban sprawl downside. I understand, but it's also the biggest metropolitan area in the country that voted for Trump. right? So I think it's the fifth biggest metro area in the country, and it went red if you count all Maricopa County. I think there is a correlation to housing density and politics. I just think it's, the white picket fence, you call it an ideal, you call it old-fashioned. I think it's a beautiful thing. What's your viewpoint on how we approach new housing developments in the country? We want to be respectful of public lands. We want to keep things beautiful, but we also want to make sure we're not outlawing single-family homes as they've essentially done in California, by the way. You can't build new single-family zoning in California.
Right, and that's a great perspective and great question, Andrew. And, at HUD, we deal with every American citizen in our country. And when I say that, meaning that housing impacts all 380 million people, per se, that we have in our country. Right now, we have a housing shortage, guys, of about 7 million units of housing that we need.
Wow.
We need single-family houses. We need multifamily, duplex, condo, manufactured housing. Manufactured housing obviously is going to play a big role in filling this housing gap that we have in our country. And Andrew, yes, when you own a home, it is the single most powerful way to build equity and to start building generational wealth is in the home that you own. And so, yes, I am a proponent, as you are, for single family homes. But also when you think about the millennial generation or people who are just now getting started, sometimes people have to rent a multifamily or rent an apartment or a condo in order to save so that they can have the monies available and appropriate and needed to invest in a single family home. And so from our standpoint, we look at the picture from a holistic view. And so what we're doing when I talk about bringing down regulation and using some of the programs at HUD, like our Section 221 and 223, to help build affordable housing and make rents as such that people can afford that to save up to achieve the American dream of home ownership. So yes, I am in agreement with you that single family homes are very important to build wealth, to build family, to bring families together to raise our children. I encourage the young people of America today, to get married, to have children, to raise a family, to save up, buy a home, build neighborhoods. And so I'm in lockstep with you. But from our standpoint and my standpoint, personally, we have to help those that are just now getting started out that may be renting to save up to buy a home. And our FHA program has been tremendous.
Say that again.
We've helped about 630,000 people this year to have the first time to buy loans from FHA, and 370,000 of those are first-time homebuyers.
Oh, fantastic! That's great. Oh, I just want to I want to commend the admin. We did a whole segment on this last week, but I just there was some polling that came out. Rich Barris was on it, talking about that there was a sense out there, especially after the off-year elections in Virginia, New Jersey, that there was maybe a messaging disconnect from the administration to what people were actually wanting, right? There was a lot of focus on foreign policy. They wanted more focus on domestic. And I just want to say the admin has completely responded. You're part of that. And I just love that you guys are really hammering home the fact that affordability, housing, Gen Z. Let's go ahead and play 79. This is another indication of some of this messaging that's getting out there. 79.
President and his team want to put a difficult start to November behind them with a blizzard of policy and PR announcements designed to help Americans with the cost of living. So what are those announcements going to be? More deals with pharmaceutical companies to bring down drug prices, efforts to address those higher mortgage rates, try to change the housing market, reducing tariffs, as you guys mentioned, on a number of products, as well as a possible $2,000 rebate check for some taxpayers.
Affordability. Blake, I don't know if you had anything to add there.
No,
but
just... It's what one of the things Charlie cared about the most, and I look at all of those long-term trends, and you see long-term trends. We don't build as many houses as we used to. We are steadily escalating the price of those houses. I mean, we have the debate over how should we even try to lower them. And it really appeals to people. I think we should emphasize this for the administration. We talked about the 50-year mortgage idea last week, and the number of emails we got about that was gigantic. Some topics don't fire up our audience, even if we talk about them. That one did. Email after email after email. And some people really liked it. Some people really, really hated it. It's not uniform how people felt about it, but what they do have strong thoughts about is the housing topic.
Well, and I love the creativity, Mr. Secretary. I mean, it seems like we're going to get a blizzard of new proposals in the coming weeks, and I'm just grateful to you that you at HUD are focused on it, and you're laser focused on helping Gen Z start a family, get married, have kids, and use every power that you have at your disposal. So thank you, sir, for doing that.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, God bless you, sir. We'll have you on again soon with updates, because this is a big topic and there's going to be much to discuss. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. I want to tell you guys really quickly about the Culture and Christianity podcast, the Alan Jackson podcast. What makes it unique is Pastor Alan Jackson's biblical perspective. He takes the truth from the Bible and applies it to issues we're facing today: gender confusion, abortion, immigration, DOGE, housing affordability, getting married, Trump in the White House, issues in the church. He doesn't just discuss the problems. In every episode, he gives practical things you and I can do to make a difference. His guests have incredible expertise, powerful testimonies. Each episode will make you recognize the power of your own faith. The Culture and Christianity podcast is available on YouTube, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Alan Jackson Ministries is working hard to bring biblical truth back into our culture. You can find out more about Pastor Alan and the ministry at alanjackson.com/Charlie, alanjackson.com/Charlie. Final segment of the day. We'll be right back.